Hello and welcome to the first ever ChapterSkip podcast. I'm Mark.
And I'm Joe.
And I'm Sean.
And just to warn you guys, there will probably be... already, and I've got an outtake. Jesus Christ, let's try again. And just to warn you guys, there will probably be some swearing and maybe the odd spoiler, but we'll try not to ruin anything that's too vital.
Basically, the reason we're doing this little podcasty thing is because I was away last week and we couldn't get together and film, because I do most of the filming and recording and editing and such. So we had to kind of give it a week. It's the first time we've done that in a year, which feels kind of disappointing in a way, because we've been fairly competent in writing, recording, editing and things, having 2 videos a week. But, you know, nice to have a little break, and we'll get into why I was away. But we're just going to do a little podcasty thing, sit around, talk about movies, news and other such things.
Do you want to start with why he was away?
Yes.
Because that was quite an interesting little event.
Yes. Unbeknownst to me, there was a little plan being made by my girlfriend for my birthday. I didn't know what was happening. And she just says, just keep the weekend free. I was thinking, all right, we normally record ChapterSkip on a Tuesday. That should be fine. Weekend free. Be back. We can record again. And then as I was on the train, didn't know where I was going, she was like, right, you're going to Berlin. I was like, brilliant. That should be a nice little weekend break. She was like, yeah, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. I was like, oh, okay. Won't the guys be a bit worried when I don't turn up on Tuesday? She's like, nah, Mark knew all along. I was like, ah, damn it. So with that, went to Berlin, and it just happened to be the Berlin Film Festival going on at the same time, which was even better. And a couple of movies that were showing at the film festival were The Grand Budapest Hotel, which unfortunately I didn't get to see. I really wanted to see it. The Monuments Men, and a movie that I did get to see, which was the world premiere of the uncut version of Nymphomaniac Volume 1, which was absolutely... we'll leave it there for a second.
I'm guessing from as it's the uncut version though, there was an extensive amount of gratuitous nudity and...
You could say gratuitous nudity. It was pretty much porn. I like to, you know, people ask me about it. So, oh, what was it like? Was it sort of borderline softcore porn? No, it was practically porn.
But with plot,
within the story, it wasn't just here's a couple of characters and they do it for a long while. You know, there was a story, there was a plot, and it was really intelligently written. It wasn't just here's a girl and she tells of her exploits of being an nymphomaniac. You know, here's boy 1 and I lost my virginity and he went bang 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 bang. Ugh, you know,
bang bang bang. Is that how it happens?
That's what I've been told.
Shot
Yeah, and that was the end. She got shot. No, not.
Yeah,
really.
he fingered me behind the bins.
Yeah, it wasn't like that. You know, it was very expertly written, and it was just a really intriguing movie. And I knew there was going to be a lot of sex and whatnot in it. I didn't quite imagine there would be a penetration, because I'm not sure of the laws on that, whether it is porn when there's actual penetration on screen. But, you know, we kind of went there, and being the world premiere, the cast and crew were there, so that was quite cool. Got to see them go down the red carpet. Got to go on the red carpet myself, which was fantastic, because I didn't know that was what, you know, we bought it for €13, which is like 10 quid here in the UK. 10 quid for to walk on the red carpet, to see all these stars, and to see a movie of the world premiere of the uncut version in Berlin was just absolutely surreal.
Did you get to see any of the stars, though, such as like Willem Dafoe or anyone like that? Or?
The people that were there were the director Lars von Trier, Uma Thurman, Christian Slater, Stellan Skarsgård, and Stacey Martin, I believe her name is. There was another person there, but I couldn't quite make out who it was. And, yeah.
Was this someone in disguise?
No, well, there was another person.
Someone who'd been shopping and tripped into their bag.
Yes, there was actually a person in disguise, which, you know, I thought, oh. We had a little look around the venue and we thought, oh, they've got posters of everyone there. We thought, oh, maybe that's because who's going to be here? That'd be really cool. And they had a picture of Mr. Shia LaBeouf there, and we was thinking, is he going to be here? And then we got in the theatre, we were sitting down. We saw it on the big screen. They were showing, sort of relaying it in the theatre, what was happening outside. And we saw people turning up, getting out of the car, taking the pictures. Poor old Uma Thurman was blinded by all the flashes. People like pictures of her. And then, there's somebody missing. Where's Shia? Oh, I guess he couldn't make it, you know, he's a big shot Hollywood guy, he's probably doing Transformers 4 or whatever he's doing. Unbeknownst to me, I'm walking up the stairs because, you know, we got a ticket quite late because we couldn't get a online one. And we were quite sort of high up, but we had good seats. We're at the front, but the first tier or whatever it was. As we're walking up, some guy in a tuxedo runs by me and I look up and I was like, that guy's got a paper bag on his head. That's kind of weird, but this is Berlin. It's a film festival. People do weird things. And then we get back to the hotel after watching the movie, absolutely fantastic. And we're like, yeah, flicking through. Oh, yeah, I saw that. Oh, I was there, yeah. Oh, Stellan Skarsgård. Oh, yeah, there's Uma Thurman. Who's that? Oh, Shia LaBeouf turns up to a film premiere with a bag on his head which reads, I'm not famous anymore. So my sort of claim to fame from Berlin was Shia LaBeouf brushed by me.
Do you regret not tripping him up or offering him a clothesline?
No, I think I'd have liked to have sort of spoken to him and just been like, what are you doing? You know, not to steal your phrasing there, Mark, but what are you doing? What are you doing with the bag on your head?
I've gone for tripping him up, I think.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know, but the weird thing was they showed everyone else arriving in their cars and getting out and having pictures taken, but they didn't show Shia LaBeouf doing it. But then I went on the Berlin Festival website and it showed him actually on the red carpet having pictures taken of him in the bag. And it's a bit like, you're not famous anymore, but you turn up to a premiere and you pose for photos? Nah, kind of thought that was a little bit weird, but...
Yeah, if you don't want to be famous, you should go and live the life of a hermit in the woods somewhere and kind of like Walter White, end of Breaking Bad thing.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of people out there that, you know, are movie stars, rock stars or whatever, and they don't keep in the limelight, so...
Like us. We're about as far out the limelight as you could possibly get.
Well, you know, we're not obviously famous enough for any kind of light.
We got recognised at our local cinema.
Oh, yeah, we did, yeah. Excellent.
In fact, you was recognised twice.
I was, and speaking of our local cinema, little shout out to the Lux Cinema in Wisbech. I went there on Sunday, and the lady behind the counter said, oh, if you'd have rung up and let me know who you was, I could have got you a free ticket. I was like, what?
Really?
Wow. Yeah. So,
I'm hoping to go to the weekend. I'm going to phone up. Yes, this is Mark from ChapterSkip.
They'll be like, who? The bald one.
Yeah. The bald one with the beard.
Is the guy with the long, lovely hair joining you? No. Right,
No.
£7 then, please.
What about the tall guy? No, he's not there either.
Yeah. What about Joe? No, he's not there either.
So what did you go and watch anyway?
I went to watch the Lego movie. I realised it was out. Our cinema got it. And I was thinking, you know what? The trailers actually looked really funny. There's a lot of people in there I really like, such as Morgan Freeman, Will Arnett, Chris Pratt, and Elizabeth Banks and Charlie Day, to name just a few.
See, I kind of went the other way with the trailer. I saw the trailer and I was just like, is it just too busy and there's too much shit going on and I can't get any idea of what the fuck is the plot about? It's just masses of Lego things. Like, oh, it's Batman things and stuff from this franchise and stuff from this, and I wasn't entirely sure. But then I've seen it's getting good reviews, and I'm actually thinking of taking my daughter there maybe Friday or Saturday.
Well, the thing is, it did seem like that. You know, the trailer was very kind of ambiguous. It was like, hey, we've got Lego characters, and then we've got all these people, and we've got Batman. Let's just play on the whole Batman thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Which was fantastic. But as soon as you get into the movie, you know there's going to be a strong plot. You know, there's going to be a kind of thing going on. But I just thought it was a great movie because I was such a fan of Lego growing up. You know, you can make things and do all these things, and you've got the, you know, all the little bits and bobs, and everything within that world felt very Lego-y, even though you could tell a lot of it was CGI and kind of computer-enhanced stuff.
Yeah, similar to what they do with like the Lego video games in a way, I guess, rather than because the stop-motion Lego thing, I guess, wouldn't. Yeah,
it would take absolutely ages to do a stop-motion, but it had that kind of feel of like almost stop-motion. Some of the movements were very jerky, and you know the way that the characters moved kind of reminded me of like old-school Lego, and there was a lot of sort of Lego references in there. You know, a few sort of Batman references, you know, Justice League references, which was really good. And because it's a kids' movie, I thought the kids would be like laughing their asses off, rolling in the aisles, you know, being riotous, but that was me. I was at the front row. I was like, this is awesome! I love Lego! I love Batman, and Batman Lego played by Will Arnett is even better! So,
well, backpedaling to the stop motion thing, I can't remember what day of the week it was, whether you had been on holiday at that time or not. They were showcasing a lot of the trailers for the film one day when it was on telly, and every single commercial they played, they'd recreated that advert, but with stop-motion Lego.
Oh, really?
And they'd just done it as this one little one-off. The wife was watching something, I was ignoring it because I don't watch what she watches. I'm watching Breaking Bad on the laptop, and it was like, hang on, I know this, but it's in Lego, and it was absolutely amazing. I can't believe they'd done that.
Yeah.
Really, but whether it's just that one-off or that one commercial break, I honestly don't know, but it's really good.
I see online that they had like the blooper reel up for the Lego movie.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Checking that out.
But I think the thing is, like, we reviewed Despicable Me 2, and we all thought it was like really funny. I can't remember if you actually watched it, did you, Joe? You were just at the skits, weren't you?
Yeah, I was away, weren't I?
Yeah, but we actually watched it after we did the review, didn't we? But like, I think the general consensus for the movie was we all really liked it, thought it was really funny. Yeah. There was a lot of kiddie humour, but a lot of grown-up humour. And I think the Lego movie is more so my generational humour because I don't know if kids play with Lego nowadays, do they?
Yeah,
is that a thing?
It's still a big thing, yeah.
But
probably on their iPhone or something.
I mean, and the Lego video games, I mean,
maybe
it's just me that rips through them, but I don't know. The Marvel one was fantastic, the Lord of the Rings one was fantastic.
I heard they're quite good, yeah.
And I think Lego's broader now, anyway. I mean, they even do girls' Lego. My daughter has the little, was it Lego Friends, where it's like, they got a pony and puppies and all that kind of, twee stuff going
So that's
on.
the thing, you're never ever going to get a movie where you've got Batman, Superman, Green Lantern, Gandalf, 80s Spaceman, and all these Ninja Turtle and all that kind of thing in the same movie. It'd be a bit.
So you'd recommend it then?
I would definitely recommend it if you're a fan of kind of that kiddie. It's hard to explain. It's an animated movie. It is for kids, but there's a lot of like
nostalgia, I guess.
Yeah, a lot of nostalgia, a lot of grown-up jokes. I mean, the interaction between Superman and the Green Lantern is just brilliant if you're into that kind of thing, and it plays on the whole. The Green Lantern movie was a bit shit, and it's that. And Batman like cracks out a few jokes that kids probably wouldn't understand, and it's a bit like that's actually brilliant. And Will Arnett just plays it brilliantly, and obviously one of the first lines is "I'm Batman," so it just got me just going. So. If you're into that thing, if you like Despicable Me 2, if you liked, what's another sort of animated movie that was pretty good? I don't know.
Monsters Inc.
Yeah, Monsters Inc. Maybe. I don't know.
I can't remember the last animated.
The Incredibles.
I saw Cloudy with Meatballs too. I took my daughter to that one, I suppose, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Incredibles seemed to miss. That wasn't really for the kids, though, as such, was it?
I suppose.
Maybe like Toy Story. If you're a fan of Toy Story, that kind of franchise, it appeals to adults, teens, and kids as well. And
we'll see what happens then. I shall take my daughter, who's 5, to that on. I'm guessing Friday or Saturday. I'm going to book my tickets and go on that one. So we'll see how she reacts. I mean, she loved Despicable Me, which we also took our. I was going to say the age of my nephew, and I can't remember. Sorry, mate. He's 11 or 12. No, he's 12. He's 12. I remember now.
Between 1 and 99.
No, our 12-year-old nephew, and they both loved it. So that was like a good age selection of like 5, 12, and an old fart like me.
Catered for all ages.
Yeah.
I guarantee you will probably laugh more than your daughter will. Saying that, you're a little bit older than I am, but I don't know whether Lego was a main. Whether Lego was a main source of your childhood kind of pleasure, because it was for me. I had masses of Lego, and I used to sit there and just put it all out on the floor, and it just used to go everywhere. And you'd inevitably not be able to pick up all the Lego pieces. And you'd walk around the room. Oh, Lego bit of my foot!
I was just going to say, that's when your source of pleasure becomes a source of absolute fucking pain. When you stepped on Lego with bare feet.
Yeah, that's the.
I want to see a Saw film like that.
Oh, like. I filled the room with Lego blocks. You have no socks on. You must get out of the room.
Saying that, I think there was actually a parody video on YouTube of that, where a guy, I can't remember the whole plot of it, but there's a guy and he rents out his apartment to like the Saw doll, and the Saw doll like keeps playing pranks on him, and I think one of them is like, the kitchen is full of Lego, but you're really hungry. What do you do? And he's like, ow, ow, ow.
Oh, that's a really good idea.
Great stuff.
So I guess as you've seen, oh god, I keep calling it necrophiliac. Nymphomaniac. Why do I do that? Does this?
It's subconscious. You want it to be about
my brain keeps going. It's necrophiliac, and I know it is. Nymphomaniac.
Yes.
We're not going to review this, are we? Because I'm guessing for us to do skits on this would be really fucking disturbing for people.
Well, I don't know. How are you with nudity? Apparently, Shia LaBeouf was alright with getting his knob out,
Did he have a paper bag on it?
That would have been amazing. Drawn eyes on his bollocks and they're just like them peering out of it.
I'm not famous anymore.
I'm more famous than my face.
I'm not comfortable with me doing it, and to be honest, I'm not comfortable with seeing you guys doing it, I don't think.
I mean, the only video where I think I've actually shown a bit of flesh is in our Kick-Ass 2 movie review where...
You had some nipple action going on.
I think you actually get to see a bit of my nipple, where I think the skit was you were...
The invisible...
the invisible glasses, and you tricked me into it, and I went outside, and then I grabbed something off. Yeah, I pretended to get undressed, and I came back and had a some sort of sheet covering my
Yeah,
modesty,
your
and then
modesty.
you threw something at me and I tried to catch it.
And I noticed that in the Die Hard trailer review when we done the bit where Fox wouldn't let us
Oh,
do
right.
anything, and I cheered, my T-shirt rose up and I exposed quite a voluminous part of my my bulging stomach.
Oh,
So if anyone likes underbelly folds, check that one out.
big ass spider review. I was laying on the bathroom
In your
floor
pants,
with my
yeah.
pants down.
So we're working up to it. We've gone from stomach to nipple to pants.
Yeah, yeah. Joe,
Joe's
have you
pulled
got
his
any?
trousers down under bad Milo, I guess.
Yeah, you did you
Yeah.
actually pull
Actually,
your
you
pants
did,
down?
didn't you?
Yeah, I actually did it by mistake. Because I go to the toilet all the time, I was like, oh shit, I'm actually trying to take a shit here. It's not for real, so I was like, damn, that's not
True
good.
method actor.
Yeah, there you go. That's not good.
What if people have actually done that in a film where the role is sit on the toilet and they go, no, while I'm here. You know?
Well,
Pinch one out.
speaking of that, I read an article online of like facts about Fight Club that you'll never realise. Apparently, there's a scene where Edward Norton's on the toilet, and, like reading a paper, and he actually was like full knickers and whatnot. It's like, yeah, I think people do go that far
Yeah.
in their method acting and stuff. And
So I've still never watched that film now. I saw the first 5-10 minutes and thought,
Great film.
nah, not for me.
see, that's the thing.
got a
I
lot.
did the exact same thing. My friend from school lent me out on DVD, and I sat there with my parents, and we put it on. It's like, okay, yeah, what's going on? Yeah, he's going to these like sort of
I
places.
just remember, was it Meatloaf
Yeah.
running about his moves?
Meatloaf with
I
massive
don't care.
tits, and he's hugging him, and they're crying, and then he goes to the next one. It's a bit like, this is a bit grim, isn't it? What's going to go on here? And then we switched off, and we did it twice. It came on like, the movie channels or something, and we got to the same point. We were like, oh, this is boring. Excuse me. And then I think one time I was just by myself, and somebody had just gone, you've got to watch it. It's a fantastic movie. And I was like, Meatloaf's boobs. Who's this guy? And what's Helena Bonham? What's her face doing in it? I can't stand her. And then, I watched it. I was like, this is one of the greatest movies I've ever seen.
In a Batman voice.
Yeah, and Batman. Thoroughly recommend. We've kind of gone on a tangent here.
Yeah.
Thoroughly recommend Fight Club and
Lego
movies and Nymphomaniac as well, which was Volume 1. I'm not quite sure how they're going to split it up, whether Volume 2 is going to be out at the same time or whether it's going to be a couple of months later.
Was it a conclusive ending though? Was it a natural progression to be a Volume 2? Or?
Yeah, well basically it stopped and then it showed you clips of Volume 2 and it was like, had the Rammstein music playing. I was just like, yeah, I'm in Germany with Rammstein playing.
Was that part of the film? They just done it because it was Germany, or?
I don't know, but a funny little thing, if you do happen to watch the movie and like the first sort of 5 minutes nothing happens, just be aware there's a little, it's not really a jump scare, but it scared the crap out of me when it kicked in.
I'm concerned about a scare in a Nymphomaniac movie, whether it wasn't one of those 3D theatres, was it? So you sit there and then someone pokes you with a cock,
3D penis.
Shia, piss off!
As he's under his bag and he just heard a suspicious rustling of paper. What's he doing? He's got the popcorn box thing, he's doing that on his lap.
Shia's in LaBeouf.
Mental.
Okay.
What do you think about his breakdown though? Because I think he's, I don't know if not a real breakdown or is it a publicity stunt or an arty thing. To me it's like he's faking a breakdown for attention. I mean, if it was a real thing, he's got the money to pay for the treatment.
Joe?
I
feel he's just trying to be quite arty, but
You could
I
just
don't
draw a
think
picture.
I don't think it's working for him really. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the middle of you two guys. It feels like a publicity stunt, but I don't know, like, if you guys are subscribed to Screen Junkies on YouTube, which we all are, their guy, Hal Rudnick, he went to the art exhibition that Shia did in LA, and like people were queuing up around the block, and you could only go in there like one by one. It's like a personal experience. And I was a bit like, if it was anybody else, it'd be a kind of cool art piece, because he has a room and you go in there and there's loads of props from all his movies, like there's like a an Optimus Prime figure and there's a whip from Indiana Jones.
Was it just one room with him and his stuff in there?
Well, his stuff was in
bit-
there, and you pick one item of his stuff and you go in and see him, and he's sitting there on a chair, he's got his bag on his head in a tuxedo, and he does nothing.
So it could have been anyone.
He just, no. Well, the thing is, like, I think most people thought that. It was like, oh, it could be anyone, he's got a bag on his head. And he sits there and he does nothing. You can say whatever you want to him, and
Could you
how
do things to
Rudnick...
him?
I don't know how far it'd go until it'd stop you, but basically I think some people went in there, hugged him, kissed him, and Hal Rudnick went in there and took his bag off and was basically in his face and showing him like old clips of movies he's done before. It's like, you were so happy then. What are you doing now? Why are you such an attention-seeking little boy? And Shia LaBeouf just sat there, didn't move a muscle, and then he just went, thanks, bye, and then left. And so I'm guessing after that, Mr. LaBeouf kind of gets his wherewithal together and puts the bag on, sits there again, and the next person goes in there and takes in. There was a bowl of tweets that nasty tweets that have been sent to him.
Right. I thought it was some snack I'd never heard of for a minute. Oh. Would you like a tweet?
Just somebody with a speech impediment. Yeah. Jonathan Ross goes into. I've got a bowl of tweets here.
Cliff Eubanks.
Oh God! I said to you guys before we started this, I had a weird dream the other week.
Right.
I hadn't told you what it was. It did it. Oh God! It wasn't
a bowl of
Jonathan
tweets.
Ross.
Was it a bowl of tweets?
It was Jonathan Ross, and he was in. Oh, this is so fucking weird. People are going to really think I'm bizarre after this, but anyway, Jonathan Ross, and he started to interview Johnny Vegas, and for whatever reason, Johnny Vegas dropped trowel and poked his ass towards Jonathan Ross. He then proceeded to shove his face in between Vegas's cheeks, but then he pushed out like a rosebud, and then it expanded. And that shit remake of King Kong with them tentacle monsters, and it suckers over the guy's face.
I've not seen it.
It was this big protruded thing that sort of schlucked onto his face, and then when it came away, Jonathan Ross had this brown Nutella substance on there, and he went in for another go. Unfortunately, I fucking woke up then and thought, what the fuck is wrong with me?
He went in for another go.
It schlucked back into his ass, his protrusion went, and Jonathan Ross was like, yeah, whatever.
Johnny Vegas' prolapsed anus.
And I woke up and I thought, there is something really fucking wrong here.
I bet I know who directed that film. Shia LaBeouf.
He's a cannibal though. It was the weirdest. I don't dream very often. It's like, why does my one dream of the year have to be that?
Mental.
I love waking up and realising the weird dreams, but I can never, they only last a couple of days, and I have to get them off my chest, but I can't remember.
This is one of those weird ones that stuck with me, along with.
I bet you told everyone as well, didn't you? I bet you was a bit
No, I've only told the wife so far, so now you and
all the people
that listen to this.
Yeah.
So well done, thanks guys, don't think any less of me. But I only have weird ones are the ones that are prominent. So I've been chased by a giant crab that I had to lure away with Belgian chocolates in the supermarket. I've been attacked by a witch that used a thing with a hopper at a factory that flung potatoes at me. It's only the bizarre dreams I ever remember. I just sort of wake up and think, why can't I have something normal? Just a normal everyday dream. I had breakfast and just had a
I hate
normal
them dreams where you just wake up and then you go straight back to sleep, and then you go into that same dream again, but you want to get away from it, but you just keep waking up, falling back to sleep, waking up, and you just continuing it. It's fucking horrible.
So I've done that with my giant crab dream. I know we're really going off topic here.
Giant
My giant crab dream, but then because I'd woke up because I've been chased in a Queensgate. Sorry, you don't know that. Unless you're in Peterborough, a big shopping centre, a mall. A giant crab was chasing me, and for some reason I could lure it away from me by leaving a pile of Belgian chocolates because the crab went for
Did
them.
they have to be Belgian?
Yes, I don't know why. I don't even know. It's just some random. I just knew this somehow.
We become
and the crab couldn't detect me hiding in a clothes roll. But I then kind of woke up and fell back into it. But when I fell back into it, I kind of went in a lucid sort of dream state where I kind of remembered, wait a minute, crabs can only run sideways, so I can stand in front of it, stick up my fingers at it, give it the V's and go, come on then, you bastard, and watch it run the wrong way. Which was then brilliant.
So maybe you woke up from your dream and then realised what you could do better in your dream. Went back into your dream, like some sort of crazy Inception thing. You went back into your dream so you could
Inception had a giant crab in it. That would have been the best thing ever.
Could be some ideas for a film. What we could
then DiCaprio would have got his Oscar that he's been praying for if it was him fighting a giant crab.
Hey,
and the Oscar for best crab battle goes to Leonardo DiCaprio.
Do they have a category for best crab battle?
If they don't, they should have.
Right.
Wow.
Speaking of Inception, lovely Miss Ellen Page starred in Inception, amongst other things, Juno, X-Men movies, recently come out as gay, which really isn't that much big news, but I guess with the whole kind of Olympics thing going on, and there's a lot of gay, no, don't take this the wrong way, there's a lot of gayness going around, America are passing bills to allow gay marriage, etc. I think Scotland did the same, didn't they? Forgive me if I've got the details wrong, not much of a newsie. But yeah, it's this kind of thing, there's a lot of things going around with being gay, and she came out and she said, I'm gay, which I know a lot of boys' hearts kind of sank when she said that.
And probably some creepy old men as well.
Well, yeah, hard candy style.
Yeah.
So, thoughts on that? Does it make a big deal?
See, I really don't care. It makes no difference to me. It's got no difference on that person's acting. And I don't know whether it says about me that I'm just in tune with modern society, that I don't care if someone's straight or gay. or whether I'm just completely apathetic about everything. Because I just don't care. Who cares?
You hate all sexualities. Gay, straight, lesbian, bi, transgender. I hate you all.
I embrace all of you. No, I'm just not bothered. You are what you are. What difference does it make to how well you act or do a sport or anything like that?
Yeah, I think the thing is, like, I'm sure there is gay actors, and I can't think of any off the top of my head. I'm sure there is. But, like, does certain people...
Ian
McKellen. Do people feel odd acting opposite him? Do you think... Well, he's such a prestigious actor, I don't think anybody could. They'd be like, oh, I ain't acting with Ian McKellen. It's going to ruin my career. Why? Because he's gay.
Yeah. No, he might try and tickle my balls.
He's Gandalf and Magneto. You know, people aren't going to turn down the opportunity, but maybe... I don't know.
I can't see anyone ever going, I'm not going to watch that film, that actor's gay.
But there are people out there that would, I reckon.
Yeah, but these are the people that have probably watched lesbian porn. So, on the one hand, they're supporting it.
Yeah,
well, definitely on one hand, they're supporting it. Yeah.
And the other hand, flip, flap, flop. Joe?
As long as they're happy, you know, they should do what they want. It doesn't matter. It's not a big thing, is it?
It'd be more shocking if she come out and said, I eat babies. Then I'd be like, what the fuck is going on here? But just like,
I'm a man. What? Ellen Page.
I'm Jimmy Savile's love child.
I always thought you had a small frame, but you're a man. Yeah, disclaimer, she's not a man.
Yeah, just in case.
Tomboyish, but yeah.
I just don't care.
Yeah, I mean, it may have an effect on her sort of psychologically now it's in the open. Whether that's a good thing, whether she's a bit like, oh, I don't care, everybody knows now, I can just be free, you know. Whether beforehand she was a bit like, oh, I've got to kind of keep this inside me, whether it's going to be, you know, whether sort of, oh, you're a lesbian, or, oh, no.
I think it'd be fine.
Although, obviously, I guess sometimes in your career it's difficult to try and come out straight away as being that, you know, a certain sexual orientation, because then it may affect the roles you get. Because obviously, you know, I'm a straight guy, so I wouldn't know that dilemma, I guess, of like, what do I say? How do I approach this to people? But I think most people now would be the same as me, like, whatever, don't mind, you just do whatever you're doing and carry on, I don't care.
Yeah, well, I think the world's becoming a bit more cosmopolitan now, isn't it? You know,
it's more fabulous now.
Yeah, it's more brilliant. It's more wonderful, darling. You know,
I think it's super.
Oh, so see what you did. That's very clever, Joe.
Thank you.
I'm trying to think of other Ellen Page video or movie puns.
Well, you've kind of got
an
Ellen Page movie in there with a big gay owl kind of quote. So super,
yeah.
What other movies was she in?
I don't know what, X-Men.
That roller fight, that skating film. What was that called?
Roller skating fight film.
Yeah, well, they go
featuring Ellen Page.
Roller derby, don't they? Roller derby. I can't remember
what it's called. Derby fight movie.
What
was it called? I see it a little while ago and I can't remember the name of it. It's a really good film. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. But I don't know the name, so you won't know what it is.
Page on Wheels.
Lesbo fight movie.
Yeah. So that's the thing now. People are going to give her loads of offers, I guess, for like, oh, we want you to do a lesbian scene.
It's called Whip It, and it's a really good film. Whip It, check it out.
Sounds like something from the West Country. We're going to go and see this film called Whip It.
Whip It. Is it about dogs?
Whip It, not Whip It's a Devo song.
Oh yeah.
Whip It.
Wow.
But,
this is going to be a short podcast. We've gone so far off topic and back again.
Well, yeah, it was general conversation. At least we're not like reading from a script here.
It's a great film, Whip It.
Well, I'll make some notes and I'm going to look through them and try and get vaguely back on.
Well, we've talked about Ellen Page. We've talked about all the movies that I've seen, Lego, Nymphomaniac, etc. What have you got on the agenda?
Shia LaBeouf.
I didn't know whether to broach the remake topic or not, because this is a very sore subject with me especially.
It very much is.
We know that.
Is it, you know, I think are people, well, if you kind of harp on about remakes all the time, does it, are you kind of moulding yourself, into that guy, we've had a lot of tea, into that guy that just hates remakes, you know? It's a bit like if there comes a remake out and, you know, a lot of people like it and you hate it, people are always going to think, oh, he just hates remakes, you know.
Well, you don't hate all remakes, do you?
Yeah, maybe you should come out and say the remakes that you do like. You know?
Every time one's announced, there's a bit of me that just feels crushed. Like lately they've announced Escape from New York.
Okay.
Why? And the guy said, oh, I quite like the idea of what they did in the video game of Batman Arkham City. Because part of the city then gets walled off and becomes a prison within the city. And he's like, oh, that made me think, oh yeah, Escape from New York. Like, why? Because the remake issue for me is you're either going to copy it so that everyone's going to say, what's the point? You've copied the original film, why bother? Or you're going to change it so much that people turn around and go, well, you've changed it now, it's nothing like the original. So again, why bother?
Yeah, I do agree with you there, but is that whole thing of like you're sort of redoing it, remaking it, reinventing it for new audiences, and is it, you know, some people are a bit like, well, I don't want to watch a movie that was made in the 70s or 80s. You know, you got to think of kids, you know, probably, you know, a lot younger than us, and, you know, probably teenagers and stuff like that. They're probably not going to go and watch, you know, take for instance RoboCop. They're going to be like, well, one came out in 2014. It's got special effects and CGI. Why would I go back and watch one from the 80s?
Because the one from the 80s has got more blood squibs and gore and ridiculous, and you'd buy that for $1. He shoots a rapist in the cock. I mean, you know.
Well, yeah, but is that just because we're from that generation?
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
I grew up watching that
disagree
movie,
with that,
and it's fantastic. You know,
Because like from like nephews and nieces I've got, and like they love older stuff though. Like my niece loves like 70s, 80s films and that. And even though I was born in the 70s, I still love like really bad B movies from like the 50s and stuff like that. It's just.
It just seems like Hollywood's like run out of ideas in a way.
I'd rather someone said,
"What can we remake next?"
I'd rather someone slightly sort of done some. I really like this film. I want to do something with a similar idea, rather than just copy that exactly and give it the same title. I'd rather say,
but then again,
I really like that film, but I'm going to do a rough idea, because people have done other psychic girl things, but without being Carrie. So why remake Carrie?
But then the thing comes up where it's still not original, is it? It's like, oh, you've made a psychic girl, but yeah, but it's a lot like Carrie, you know. Oh, you've made a police officer that's a robot. Yeah, but it's pretty much RoboCop, you know. You're in kind of two camps here. You're either ripping the idea off, or or are you remaking it?
But I'd rather see someone who's done it like influenced by it and just quite honestly stand and say, yeah, I was influenced by RoboCop, but I didn't want to do what they were doing. I wanted to do my own thing, because then you could accept it without it being called RoboCop. It'd be like, you know, Cyborg Policeman.
Yeah, but how many people are going to buy a movie called Cyborg Policeman when you could buy RoboCop and people will be like, oh, RoboCop looks awesome.
And
then other people like me are going to be like,
hey? I'm hoping they'd give it a better title than Cyborg.
What then, RoboCop? Or Cyber Policeman?
It's like
Droid Rosa.
like Judge Dredd and Dredd. I know they're different.
Yeah, but that's not really a remake, because it's the whole comic series and the first
Dredd's
one
10 times better.
Yeah, the Judge Dredd thing was just an awful steaming pile.
Right, we'll get into RoboCop in a bit, but you were talking about remakes that you did like. Is there a couple you can rattle off the top of your head, just so we can kind of give people the option to say, well, Mark doesn't just hate remakes.
No. I quite enjoyed Maniac, and I enjoyed Hills of Eyes, but I still wouldn't count them as better than the originals.
Okay. Is there anything you think is better than the original?
No. You have to. I can't think of any off the top of my head.
Put you on the spot, but
yeah, no, I honestly couldn't think of one that. But I've sat and gone, this is far superior to that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of remakes that I've seen. Maybe you're of a different generation, obviously, being a couple of years older.
Oh, actually, I can. To a certain extent, I suppose the Thing, the John Carpenter version, and Cronenberg's version of The Fly.
Okay.
Because they did their own thing to it. They didn't just copy what the original had done. Yeah. They kind of, almost in a way of doing that rip-off kind of another film, if you like, what I said earlier, rather than doing a remake, even though they technically are. They kind of went, I've took the concept of that film and I've done it entirely in my own way, and it was so good when they did it.
Okay, yeah. Just quickly going back to Maniac, I've not seen the original, which I believe you guys have, but like the remake, which I thought was fantastic, the one with Elijah Wood done from the sort of the first person perspective, which I thought was like I've never seen anything like that before. I didn't really know what to expect. You know, a film called Maniac, I thought, is it just going to be a bit sort of, you know, slash, you know, and it was, you know, it was a really intelligent movie. It was kind of really well done. The first
person stuff was really clever, especially to see how they'd.
Yeah, did they do that in the original, or
no?
That's it. See, they've taken.
They have taken a whole different direction with it, but still, I'd prefer the original.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But whether I do think that you do end up having more of an affinity with the one you've watched first.
Yeah, yeah.
Because if you watch the film 20 years ago and you really like it, you're going to be hard pressed, I think, to kind of like get so attached to something new.
Yeah.
Like you said, if they give it a different like swing and a different idea of things, you know, like a swing on the project sort of thing.
Yeah, that's why I like the Fly and the Thing. So it was the concept of what was in those originals, and then it went in a completely different kind of direction. It was unique. It was what that director would have done, rather than just being so filled with references to the original film, so that you could sit there and go, oh, that was in that, and that was there's a little reference. I find that a little bit tiresome now. I'd rather someone just like took the concept and completely made it their own, rather than just copying things scene from scene and.
Yeah, which kind of leads me to want to talk about two movies that have come out sort of fairly recently that have been direct remakes, which I'm pretty sure they are. I haven't seen the first one, but Carrie, we did a movie review for it, and we gave our thoughts on it, and mine was coming from a purely, I'm basing it on this movie, the 2013 version, the Chloe Grace Moretz version, you know, the Kimberly Peirce version. I was basing it just on that, and I didn't give it a very good review. You took the stance of, I'm comparing it to the Brian De Palma version.
Yeah, and we gave it more or less the same.
Yeah, and it was a bit like, because it's a remake, you probably hated it more, but I just hated it because it was a fairly dull movie, really.
I didn't hate it. Yeah, it wasn't hate. I was, yeah, all right. I'll admit, when something comes out as a remake, I'm automatically like in my brain going, yeah, I'm not going to like this.
Yeah,
I haven't seen RoboCop yet. I'm hoping to might go and see it this week, and I'm already in my brain thinking, yeah, I'm not going to like it. But I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt, even though I have subconsciously gone, yeah, it'll be shit. But Carrie didn't even have the decency to be shit. It was just boring.
Yeah,
I couldn't outright hate it because there was nothing specifically other than Chloe Grace Moretz was clearly the wrong. They picked an attractive girl to be the one who's the outcast, and I don't know. It just didn't work. There was nothing. It was flat.
We've talked about Carrie in our review, and you can go back and watch that on our channel. But talking about RoboCop, I'm hopefully going to watch it in the next couple of days. And I, in our trailer review, said that I was quite excited about watching it, whereas you took the opposite stance. Obviously, remake is shit. So yeah, but
is that how I sound?
Yeah, I'm Mark, and I think remakes are shit.
You make me sound like a 70-year-old man there, thanks.
Close. What was I saying before I started?
RoboCop.
Yeah, RoboCop. Hopefully it'll be good, but you know there are doubts. And I was a massive fan of the '80s version. I recently went back and watched it when I heard the remake was announced. I was like, right, I'm gonna do a good old comparison, but I'm gonna try and treat the new one as a separate movie, and I think that'll be quite cool to do so. I'm still looking forward to seeing it. I haven't heard or read any reviews of it yet. Have you guys heard anything about it?
Not really, no, not much. I mean, I can't see it being any worse than those terrible RoboCop TV movies that they made. There's some straight-to-DVD shit there, and they were absolutely awful, but...
I've heard it's quite watered down, isn't it?
It is coming out as a 15 over here, and like a, what is it, a PG-13 in the States, something like that. Yeah. Whereas the original was like a full-on 18.
Yeah.
It's losing all that. All right, fine, you're trying to market it to a younger audience. But...
And in the 80s, obviously, like, you know, everybody was like the high living, like the Wall Street sort of thing, the cocaine, the drugs, the high living, the richness, and then everything going downhill. Like I like that about the original, you know. And I don't know if they could do that.
Would that work in today's setting?
That's what I mean. I don't know if that would work. Yeah,
it could have been meth dealers. Cocaine addicts. Yeah. RoboCop versus what?
That's why I think. That's why I think it's suited to the 80s. You know, with that whole thing, what was going on. You know.
I had a thought in my brain and it's gone now. And it's. Oh,
is it a spin-off series with Walter White being turned into a robot?
A robot. Yeah.
Robo Heisenberg.
Meth cop.
Roboberg.
Dead or alive, you're
man,
coming with me.
In my head
Dead or alive, I would teach you to make meth.
Oh, it's gone. Oh well, never mind. It may come back. It was some RoboCop related.
Yeah, that's the thing with Carrie. They couldn't obviously do the same setting as they did in the 70s because, you know, people would go, well, where's their mobile phone? Where's this? Where's that? So they tried to update it, and they included you know, mobile phones. They recorded Carrie, you know, with the plug it up incident, and you know, yeah, fair enough. They didn't have that in the 70s. And you've got to kind of make that judgment.
But that's kind of the thing as well. Like the original RoboCop is a product of its time. It's a proper film from that genre, and you can't. All right, they haven't copied it now. I guess they have. Oh, I suppose they do win a point on that one. They have tried to make it a modern day thing, but I still, I don't know. It just looked lifeless. It didn't. Mind you, saying that the trailer for, if you watch the trailer for the original RoboCop, it's not very good. It's not a really good trailer either. It doesn't give you all that satire. It doesn't show you like the masses of over the top violence. It just looks like a cheesy little action flick.
Yeah. Yeah, we've done our trailer review on it, but I guess as we're talking about it now, the high points for me are going to be Gary Oldman, who's awesome.
Yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson seems to pop up. You know, I haven't seen much of him in it, but it looks like he could be quite good in it. And you know, hopefully the effects won't be too heavily reliant on CGI. They don't, you know, they might kind of.
And I forgot his name. You know, Beetlejuice, Batman.
Oh yeah, Michael Keaton.
That's it. Yeah, I like Michael Keaton, so I'm hoping.
Yeah, and
that thought popped in my head and it's gone again. What was it? Oh no, God, my old brain.
Michael Keaton playing Walter White in a revamp of Robo.
Oh god damn it!
Right, I'll let you think about it. Anyway, yeah, for me there's a lot of plus points, but There's a lot of things that can and probably
I
have.
remembered. It's like, I'm going to go and watch it, even though in my head I'm kind of thinking I'm expecting to hate it, but I do want to go and enjoy it because I don't want to go and watch a shit film.
Yeah.
I'm spending money then, but I want to go and watch a good film, but I don't think it's going to do it. There's nothing about it that got me excited. There's nothing that instantly stepped out and made me go, wow, I really want to watch this film. Whereas the odd remake trailer, you've seen little bits and you thought, actually, that looks pretty good.
See, for me, the things that did stand out and go, oh, I want to watch this, were the things that they've pretty much directly copied, which I guess is a bit like you're riding on the coattails of the 80s version, you know, when the gun comes out and he goes, dead or alive, you're coming with me. I was a bit like, oh, that's kind of cool, you know, they've updated it a little bit, you know, still got the gun that comes out the side, and, you know, this looks kind of cool.
So I feel the same way about that trailer, I think, as I did for the Old Boy one, which fortunately I've managed to I was in two minds. I'm like, I kind of want to see it in a way just to see what's happened, but I don't because I absolutely love the first film, the original movie.
I thought the trailer looked really good for the new Old Boy.
And all I've heard about it is it's crap, although Josh Brolin was okay. And that's probably the most positive thing I've heard about it. So I feel the same way about that trailer as I do for the RoboCop one.
Like with RoboCop, I'm going to give it a go, see what it's like. But obviously, yes, I love the original, but this is completely different. It's a lot more watered down. And he seemed a lot more slick and cuddlier, so...
Yeah, he's with his family, it's cuddlier.
I'm cuddly RoboCop.
Just picture him like a little fuzzy bear suit.
Hi, I'm Robo.
Robo plush.
Dead or alive, you're cuddling me.
That's really good. Perhaps we should do that. We can. Yeah, there's a skit in the making.
You heard it first here on the ChapterSkip podcast.